The Premier League is back, and it's the last international break has just finished. So this is the running. There's so many battles going on here. Yes, Burnley and Sheffield United look to be relegated. Burnley have got a better chance of survival, but I'd say both are down. So there's one relegation spot. The title still to play for between three sides: Arsenal, Liverpool and Man City. And fourth spot is up for grabs, with Villa and Spurs the main contenders for that one. Going to be an interesting final few weeks. Make sure to like and subscribe, and there's a massive match as the last fixture of this round, so make sure to stay tuned. Let's get into our predictions for this week. We kick things off with Newcastle against West Ham, and for Newcastle, they haven't been in great form, only one win in 4 in the league, but they're pretty good at home, 9 wins in 14, so they will be looking to add to that here. West Ham are above Newcastle in the table, sitting in 7th place. They are in contention for Europe, and they are 4 unbeaten. The last 2 have been draws against Burnley and Villa, but West Ham, since Paqueta has came back from injury, have looked a lot better. So for this, I'm going to go for goals and a 2-2 draw. Bournemouth take on Everton next. Bournemouth have been in good form, 3 unbeaten, but they're currently sitting pretty much mid-table in terms of points. They're not going to be fighting for Europe. They're not going to get relegated. They're probably the first team that have nothing to play for left. So, interesting to see what they do. Everton, they've been in poor form. No wins in 11. They are at threat of relegation, as they seem to be every season recently. They just can't really score goals. They're not winning any games. And can they do this one? I don't think so. So, Bournemouth to win 2-1. Chelsea v Burnley is our next one. Chelsea are 11th, so still not breaking into the top half of the table. They've been in decent form considering they got to the Carabao Cup final, and they're still in the FA Cup, so lots of games for Chelsea, but I guess that evens out with them not being in Europe. However, it's been a tough season. They just now need to go and get into Europe because they're close to it. The point tally isn't massive. They're not going to get Champions League, but they can fight for probably 7th place. So that will be something if they can get it. But they need to make sure they're being consistent. Burnley are 2 games unbeaten, which is quite surprising as they don't tend to go on such long runs unless they're losing. So Burnley did win their last game against Brentford. That has helped them out in the relegation battle. But I do think Chelsea will win here 2-0. Forest up against Palace. Now these two are at threat of relegation, but Forest more so with them being in the relegation zone currently. Forest, not great form, picked up 1 point out of their last 4 games. It was the latest game, which was a draw against Luton. Crystal Palace, under Glasner, 3 games in the league. They beat Burnley convincingly 3-0. They lost to Tottenham. They drew with Luton. So not too bad on paper what they've done, but they'll need to make sure they don't lose here. I think it'll be a tight game and a 1-1. Sheffield United against Fulham next. Now, Sheffield United, their last 3 home games in the league, a 6-0 loss, a 5-0 loss and another 5-0 loss. So 16 goals conceded, none scored in 3 home games. That is absolutely awful. I'm not sure Fulham will score as many goals, but I don't see a chance for Sheffield United to get anything out of this. Fulham have been in good form, 3 wins out of their last 4, so I'll stick with that. And even though this scoreline's tight, I think Fulham will absolutely dominate. Sheffield United might get a late consolation, but Fulham to win 2-1. Tottenham against Luton is the next one. Tottenham, they missed out on a big chance. After beating Villa 4-0, they failed to capitalise and lost 3-0 to Fulham. They do still have a game in hand over Villa, and a win would take them above Villa, but That was a massive opportunity missed, but Fulham were brilliant in that one, so Spurs can't complain too much. Luton, the key thing is they're not in the bottom three. They haven't won in 8, so they've been struggling recently, but a draw against Forest last time out with a late equaliser really helped them, because if they'd have lost that, they would be in the bottom 3. So a very good point for them. They just need to make sure now their fate is in their hands. If they can pick up as many points as possible, then they stay up. That's the key. Get all your points and you'll be fine. However, I don't think that will happen here. Spurs to win 3-1. Villa face Wolves next. This one, big, obviously local derby in the West Midlands. Villa in this fixture haven't been doing well recently. The last time Villa won it was in 2020, and at Villa Park for this one, Wolves in the last 4, 2 wins, 2 draws. So Villa haven't won the last 4 at Villa Park. It's been very good from Wolves in this fixture, but every time I look at it, I can't help but see a 1-1 draw. Brentford up against Man United. Now Brentford have been in poor form. Their last 6 league games, it's 1 draw and 5 losses. They're only 5 points above the drop zone as well. So Brentford, they are quite lucky that a lot of teams below them have been so poor, but if those teams start to pick up, then Brentford need to get their act together, because they are very much in contention for a relegation battle here. Man United, they have lost a couple recently, but pretty good form on the whole. However, 9 points off Aston Villa in 4th. Their goal difference is considerably worse as well, so it's kind of 10 points in a way. I think Man United are going to struggle to break into that top 4. Maybe they can get 5th, and the coefficient for the new Champions League rules can get them into the Champions League, but it's going to be tough to get into those spots, and top 4 guarantees it. It'll be tough to get there, so maybe a win in the FA Cup could be their route to success, but again, it's going to be very tough. For this game, I think Man United will get the job done, so I will go for them to win it 2-1. Liverpool sit second in the league on goal difference, and they face a struggling Brighton, but a Brighton that are still sitting in the top 10 despite a massive lack of consistency in good performances. Now, this fixture recently, the last 3 league games, we've had a 3-3 draw, Brighton winning 3-0, and then most recently, this season, a 2-2 draw. So Brighton have been doing pretty well in this fixture recently, and I think that is down to their style of play, but they've got a lot of injuries. I think it works well against Liverpool's high line. They get in behind well, but again, are they going to be able to do that with a pretty makeshift team? I'm not sure. I think there'll be goals, but I'll go Liverpool to win 3-2. And the big one, Man City taking on Arsenal. Now the reverse of this, at the Emirates, Arsenal won it 1-0. A very good statement win. And Arsenal have been in great form. 8 wins in a row in the league. They are top. They've got brilliant goal difference compared to Liverpool and Man City. So Arsenal are really in the driving seat. However, if Arsenal fail to win this game and Liverpool beat Brighton, then it's back. The momentum swings back to Liverpool, and they will be in control. As if they win all their games, they will win the league. So this is a vital one. Man City are just off the back of a 1-1 draw with Liverpool. This is going to be a tight game, I think. And although I would like to pick a winner, I'm struggling. I think if it was at the Emirates, with Arsenal's brilliant form recently, I would quite fancy them to win this one. But at the Etihad, City are very hard to beat. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. So those are my predictions for these Premier League fixtures. Make sure to get yours in the comments. And if you don't want to do all of them, just pick out that big title decider. What will the score be in Man City v Arsenal? Now, it's not a title decider, obviously, but it does really change the landscape because, as I say, if Arsenal win, it only gets easier from here and they're in control. If Arsenal fail to win, it puts Liverpool in a great position as long as they beat Brighton. And if City win, they overtake Arsenal and they could go top depending on Liverpool, but it puts City in a great position then as well. So what a game that will be. Make sure to like and subscribe, and hopefully it's an entertaining weekend of football.